So, Mr. Jason, the first movie you ever did was what?
Rushmore.
With whom?
Wes Anderson.
Which is just like crazy. You're like in every single movie that he does,
Yeah,
essentially.
crazy.
Like, I feel like this is like a good partner in this to have. Scarlett, what was the first big gig you ever booked?
The first big gig I ever booked? Other
Professional gig you ever booked.
Sophistry.
And who was in that?
Ethan Hawke.
And whose daughter is in this?
Yeah, no, definitely. I for sure had that moment where I was like, oh, wow, this is a whole full circle moment.
Yeah, like I always want, I'm like, what is that like? Because I have an 8-year-old at home and I'm like, you were 8.
This whole industry is
crazy.
so like incestuous, and like we all have
Crazy.
worked with one, like I've definitely worked with people's children before that were directors of other things that people, yeah.
But that is crazy that you were, that is crazy.
Yes.
Like that, I didn't know that. That's nuts.
Isn't that cool? And like, and she's also so phenomenal. I feel bad even talking to Maya about her dad and her mom because it's not about that. But you're like, I don't know. For me, that stuff just kind of, we're the same age, so it just.
Yeah, but then you look at it and you're like, wait, this is a woman I'm sitting with, and I worked with your dad
Yes.
when I was a kid.
Yeah. So anyway, I love all that. So I think that's wonderful. I have to say, your scenes together are my favorite. They're magical, and they feel like old school, or I don't know what the right word to describe it is, but I love this dynamic. Like,
Thanks.
I do
like,
too.
I think you guys are wonderful, wonderful partners.
Thank you.
Selfishly, can I ask you to do my job for me? I'm going to start by saying Asteroid City is, and can you ping pong?
Asteroid City is, I think, a reflection of where Wes Anderson is at in his career, in his life, like mid-career, midlife. I think it has a lot of existential, qualities to it. It is certainly like a celebration, I think, of his love for actors and the environment that we create and work in. And, it just feels very much, I think it feels very like timely for Wes. And if you're a fan of his work, I think you will get a lot out of this. It feels different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a play within a play. So you guys are acting as actors playing actors.
Well, it's a
TV
TV show. It's a live TV broadcast about the making of a play that's not real. I just sort of like surrender to I just don't think about I just go with it as each moment happens and try to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to dissect it. It's not, I don't think it's, even though that is the construct of it, I think it's more about just the overall wash of it and the feelings.
I look at everybody. I mean, there's half of Hollywood in this movie, and I know that you guys were filming during COVID. So you have like the COVID bubble, but then you have the Wes Anderson bubble.
Yes.
And I'm just a big moments girl. I'm a big stories girl. Like,
I love that about you. I love parallels, circles.
I'm a nerd. I'm a Pisces, very sensitive. But like, I always wonder about like the small moments, not when you're filming, right? But like maybe it's in the morning and you're getting coffee, and then all of a sudden you bump into someone. I don't know. Like,
We all lived in the same, on the same property. And so, every morning you go out and unless you're working on, we were all getting ready at the same time in the same, like in the basement of this property. And then, people were also living there. So it felt like a sort of actors workshop kind of. So whether it was like you'd be making your coffee and then like Willem Dafoe is making his coffee, or I definitely did a like workout next to Jeff Goldblum, which was really cool. Or like people, Bill Murray would be like swimming laps, or you would just, it was really,
It's amazing.
it was like a total circus type of environment, like a circus camp, and then we'd all go to work. Some of us would stay behind, and then we'd all have dinner that night and talk. Everybody was excited. Like people would come in and you'd be like cheering for them. What did you shoot today?
Yeah,
It's so exciting.
it's like seems like camp in a way, like a summer camp, which I never went to, but that's what I would imagine it would be like, like something like that.
But there was a feeling too when you come home, for those that would go to work and they would, like you say, come back and you're like dust in your hair and you're sweating, like they're just coming back from there's a real feeling of a team.
Yeah,
and
camaraderie.
it's super.
Yeah, you'd come back from work and there'd be, somebody, Hope would be there like, I've got your Negroni.
Yes.
Congratulations, you finished the day. You're like, this is wonderful.
Just the timing. Like, I didn't know if you were going to be able to do this movie. And like, mom to mom, I have to give you credit. You did this film 8 weeks after giving birth?
Yes, and I was able to bring our son Cosmo on the set, which was so great because everybody got to pass around this tiny little baby, which is always so fun because you never get to be around a tiny little baby like that. So it was a fun thing that brought everybody together.
Yeah.
It was really exciting.
Too young to understand it now, but like at some point that would be so cool just to kind of like show him.
It was great.
Your first this was your first experience.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and I was so excited to be able to, have work on this thing that I never would have. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do, and then and had already kind of started falling in love with, and then when Wes was like, "No, we'll just need you," he said, "How much time do you think you have?" I was like, 8 weeks. So on my 8-week. I was on.
That's what I love though. Parents make it work. We make it work. But I got to give credit to my moms because I read like a study today that was like, if you are a mom, your full-time job is 98 hours just with parenting alone. So anyway, so this is me like bowing down.
And not to mention a newborn. Who's in charge? You are responsible for
everything. You are my shiro.
It was a badass thing.
I'm like such a comedy nerd, and I work out of 30 Rock, so I just have to ask, like, does Colin ever run his jokes by you? Did he run, or does he run lines with you when you're home prepping?
Yeah, totally. He definitely does. Which
really?
Is how. Yeah, totally. I'll have if anybody's got like a moment and I have to learn a lot of lines, I'm like, hey, why don't you run some lines with me? I'm never particular about it. Colin just is, has his own interpretation. I'm like, you're taking too, just read them.
Oh my God, that's funny.
He like wants to give it his own flavor.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, I don't need you to act. I just need you to say the lines. And he also retains them, which is really like a whole thing. So he'll say the lines back to me like weeks later, and I'm like, we don't need it anymore. It's out. It went out. It's like,
so cool.
I know, it's so
Plugged
funny.
in, that guy.
He does run jokes by me as well. And I'm always, I'll often be like, oh, I don't know, that's like too much. And that's the one that gets the biggest laugh. So I clearly am not the
Will you ever
person.
suggest a joke out of nowhere? Like, I thought this might be something worth saying.
No, I couldn't.
You couldn't?
I could. It would just, his brain is like so primed for that.
Got it.